This is the After Party, live with Kim McAllister. Pick a couch, grab a drink, and settle into the conversation.
Well, getting it together today here on the After Party Live. Hi, everybody. Well, I hope you had a really good weekend. And it was rainy here in Northern California. I don't know about elsewhere, but it was kind of a stay in kind of situation. But wherever you were, I hope you had a good weekend regardless. I am grateful that you are here on this Hide in Your Cave Monday. Love working with Michael Schur. Glad he was able to fill in. Tomorrow on the Mark Thompson Show, Mark will return, and also we have David K. Johnston on the show, so it's going to be another good one. Looking in the chat, and I say hello to you, Nullifidian and Yvonne, and welcome, Rev P. Yvonne says, day 5 of a cold. Oh no, I'm so sorry. At least we'll look at the silver lining. At least you get this cold out of the way before the summer really starts, because there's nothing worse than a summer cold, but I hope it doesn't settle in your chest. I always hate how that works. The sun is out in Mountain View, says Gordon. Thank you for that. I saw a lot of dissenting opinions today in the chat on the Mark Thompson Show, but I didn't see anything that rose to the level of being offensive or anyone that needed to be kicked out. So if I'm wrong on that, please let me know, because I did see some that kind of ran up to the edge, but I didn't see anybody that I deleted today. It was a no deletion day. So there you go. Hello to you, Ricky. Hope your ride is going well. Is it over, or are you still on the road? If you're still on the road, stay safe and travel safely, but I'm glad you made time to check in. Cloudy and rainy in Boise. Awesome. Okay, so you're still on the road. Wonderful. Well, be safe. And yeah, say hello to Idaho for us. I had a friend that just moved to Idaho. So, all right, well, let's move to the first story of the day. And that would be this one about the Eiffel Tower. Look at these old steps. You could have those at your house, well, kind of, depending on how much money you have. This was a staircase with a single guardrail, and it once led to the very, very top of the Eiffel Tower. 1,062 steps connecting the tower's second and third levels. They were installed in 1889. 137-year-old staircase. You could see parts of it at museums in France. And now 14 of these original steps are going to be offered up at auction. The staircase led to a private office just above the top floor, I guess. Yeah. This is where Gustave Eiffel is said to have enjoyed unparalleled views of the city as he worked. This French auction house called Art Curial is now selling fragments of the 14 steps. They expect it to bring in between $141,000 and $176,000. The associate director at Art Curial talked to CNN and said, imagine yourself in 1889 on this staircase, perched between 371 and 906 feet high, with no safety barriers, but with a 360-degree view of Paris. The steps were put in ahead of the 1889 Paris World's Fair, which was held on the 100th anniversary of the French Revolution. The Eiffel Tower, when it was first built, was heavily criticized. One critic called it a truly tragic street lamp. Other people were worried about the outcomes, including the possibility that the electricity from the tower could electrocute the fish in the nearby river. But when it was built, it was 1,024 feet tall, and it was then the tallest structure in the world. And it stayed that way until 1929, when the Chrysler Building was put up in, what was it? Chrysler Building, is that New York? I think so. Not Chicago, right? Yeah. So at that point, there was a push to extend the Eiffel Tower to make it the tallest in the world once again. But eventually it becomes this landmark that's so hard to imagine Paris without the Eiffel Tower. It is now the symbol of Paris and France as well. So the auction, uh, I don't know when it's going to happen. They've had several other sections of the staircase they've sold as well, art curial. The most expensive fragment brought in $556,000 in 2016. So how much will this bring in? I don't know. They say they have every reason to be ambitious about it. A lot of people love going to visit the Eiffel Tower. I went when I visited France. So, yeah, pretty incredible. Look at that, though, with the old top hat and the view of Paris long, long ago. I mean, not that we have an extra $176,000 sitting around. Would you want steps from the original Eiffel Tower? Would that be something that you would love to have? Yeah, it is a really good picture, huh? Kind of a step back in history. Was going to be taken down after that fair, says Dillette. There is an office at the very, very top of the tower. There's a restaurant pretty close to the top as well. Seems sad that this has to be sold, says Gordon. Yeah. Dillette's going back to Paris. Lovely. Yeah. All right, we'll move forward. Can we talk about these owls? Look how beautiful and majestic they are, and how cute the little owlet is down below. I love this story because it's a story about a rescuer becoming a rescue, a rescued becoming a rescuer. This beautiful, majestic adult owl that you see here on the right was saved from an electrical fence and then turned around at the wildlife center and becomes the parent figure for this rescued baby owlet as well. This female great horned owl was stuck in an electrical fence in Washington Borough, Pennsylvania. And the game warden successfully removed her from the fence, but they said the owl was struggling, unable to fly. They thought this owl might have a broken wing, so the owl was taken to the Raven Ridge Wildlife Center, where they realized that the owl's wings were not broken, but one of them did appear a little swollen. And while examining the patient, one of the licensed wildlife rehabilitators noticed that the great horned owl had a brood patch, which is this patch of bare skin that develops to provide a direct heat source for eggs. So that meant she's a mama owl. But with the time that had passed and the distance that she may have flown, it made tracking down her own nest impossible. But the Wildlife Center had received a baby great horned owl found in an external stairway leading to a basement. And they said the pairing seemed like just a no-brainer, a potential match made in heaven, a motherless owlet and a babyless mother great horned owl. So they thought, let's pair these two up and see if it works out. And it totally did. Yes. Still some risk. In this, they said they wanted to take a chance, but they didn't know for sure. They thought that the older owl might try to kill the owlet, but they said thankfully so far no issues. So it's worked out really great. They put the owlet in her cage. The next morning, they found the owlet sitting right next to her, and she knew that this was her baby now. So then they brought in a second owlet that had been brought into the wildlife center. And they say the plan is to eventually release the family in the area where the mother was discovered. And at that point, the owlets will have grown, but they could still call to her for help. So who knows? Maybe those were her owlets. We don't know that. Maybe the second one was her owlet. We don't know that either. But what a great story. This is a kind of a weird story. Check this out. I just love the bioluminescent creatures in the world. These are worms. Creepy crawly worms, fire worms that are glowing in California waters. This photographer in California captured this video in Long Beach Thursday night in the Colorado Lagoon in Long Beach, California. And experts say it's only the second time that bioluminescent fireworms have been caught on camera in Long Beach. What happens is these fireworms rise to the surface during certain moon phases, and then the females swim in circles, illuminating a mucus trail to attract the males. This light show only lasts for about a half hour until the worms return to the seabed. So it's not easy to catch them doing their thing, but I have video and I want to show it to you. Since it's so rare, and since we rarely get the chance to see the fireworms doing their mating dance, might as well take a look at it because it's super rare to see it. Here it is. We can make that bigger.
Take a look at this video. Mysterious glowing sea creatures caught on video in Long Beach for only the second time ever. Experts say these bioluminescent fireworms rise from the seabed during certain moon phases to spawn at the surface. The females swim in circles, lighting up a mucus trail that attracts the males. The rare spectacle only lasts for about 30 minutes, and following the mating ritual, the worms return to the seafloor to build a tube in which they live until the next moon cycle.
Is that not cool? I mean, wow. I didn't know that. Did you know? I had no idea that we had mating fireworms on the coast of California. What? Something else happened in California. This in Placer County. There was a zebra walking around out there. And apparently it's legal to own a zebra in California. Animal control officers in Placer County all of a sudden got reports of a zebra roaming in the town of Lincoln, which is near Sacramento. Placer County Animal Services put up a social media post about this zebra named Zeus. He was legally owned and returned to this owner after capture. The animal control folks there in Placer County say they took Zeus into custody without incident. He spent the night with us, they say, charming staff left and right with his calm, cooperative nature, giving everyone a once-in-a-lifetime chance to see such a beautiful animal up close. They said it's not your average shelter guest. And then they had to return Zeus to his owner. And they wrote, Zeus, you definitely made our week a little more stripe-tacular. We won't forget you anytime soon. That must have been quite a sight. Zeus roaming around a neighborhood in Lincoln. He's back where he goes now. Another story. You know how I love a good message in a bottle. It happened in New Zealand. This New Zealand family was walking along, trying to have a lovely day at the ocean, at Ocean Beach in Tairua, when all of a sudden they find this bottle and a note inside. It seems to have been written in 2020 or 2002, I should say. Nisha Rind and her 10-year-old son Kaya found this bottle encrusted in barnacles. It's this old Jack Daniels bottle while they were at the beach. They were just kind of exploring what had been washed up on the high tide line. At first, they thought it was a concrete brick, but then picked it up and saw that it was actually a bottle. And it had this message dated February of 2002, authored by a man named Jack. The note mentioned fishing, but water damage had been done. The water seeped into the bottle, and much of the note was illegible. So they posted pictures of the bottle and the note to a local Facebook page. So far, no one has come forward with any information about it. But a little mystery there in New Zealand. I love that. There is a new city that is supposed to be the very best for the millennial crowd. You recognize that city? That's Tampa. Tampa, Florida, being named the best city in the nation for millennials to live in. Travel and Leisure magazine citing strong job opportunities, lifestyle perks like restaurants, nightlife, outdoor activities, access to beaches. They point to Tampa's growing downtown walkability, warm winters, all as major draws for young professionals. St. Petersburg, Florida also made the list, seventh on the list, because of its job growth opportunities, relatively affordable housing, and its growing millennial population. But Tampa, best city in the nation for millennials. So my daughter just got back from Tampa, and she said it was way too Florida for her taste. I don't know exactly what that means. Here's kind of a wacky story. Look at all those inflatable dinosaurs. They had an effort underway for a Guinness World Record. How many people can they get to come out in dinosaur costumes? And Alberta University broke the record. They gathered 682 people in dinosaur suits. It was the school's 60th anniversary celebration, the University of Calgary. Their mascot, their sports teams, they're known as the Dinos. So they gathered people dressed as various dinosaurs on Saturday outside the Taylor Family Digital Library. And their 682 dinosaurs broke the Guinness World Record for the largest gathering of people dressed as dinosaurs. The previous record, set at the Cox Science Center and Aquarium in West Palm Beach, Florida last year, was at 468 dinosaurs. They did it with 682. The old record is extinct, according to the University of Calgary. It's a great example of the University of Calgary and our Calgary community coming together to set a world record. They had an adjudicator from the Guinness World Records on hand to verify that the record was officially broken. So noted. That sounds like a fun day. You know what's a fun day for this guy? Who won the lottery not once, but twice in the same day. How does that even happen? Really? I want to have that guy's day. This Ohio man won the lottery 2 times in one day. He calls it the luckiest day of his life. He's from Akron. Said his lucky day started when a 50-cent straight bet on a midday pick 3 drawing resulted in him winning $250. Then he stopped by the Giant Eagle store on West Avenue in Talmadge later that day and bought a few Wild Cash Tripler scratch-off ticket. And the 4th ticket in his stack was a big winner chicken dinner. And he wins how much? $300,000. There it is. The scratch off that made the lucky day. He said his prize money will go toward paying off his parents' car. That's nice. Buying himself a new car and shoring up his savings account. That's pretty good. And it's one of those let it ride stories, where you win a little and you just keep buying, thinking you're going to win. Is that a gambling problem or is that smart? I'm not quite sure. I have a story about a painting found rolled up in a cellar for decades. Now it's damaged, but still set to be auctioned off. It's an Artemisia Gentileschi painting. But Mary Magdalene's face is missing from this portrait. You can see that damaged square there. The painting found in Berlin, they think it was damaged in the aftermath of World War II because there is a big hole in this canvas. But they still think that when it's auctioned off later this month, it could go for more than $180,000. Yep. It was acquired, this painting, called Mary Magdalene in Ecstasy, by the National Gallery of Art in Washington, D.C. They said it depicts the saint in a deeply and unmistakably eroticized fashion, which is a huge shift from the pictures that tend to characterize her as a sinner, a penitent sinner. In this one, in one scene, Mary closes her eyes as she tilts her head back in rapture, unbothered by the presence of the viewer. I don't see that one, but I think there's different frames to this painting. So let me show you what they're talking about. It's definitely Mary in ecstasy. There she is in all her glory. Yep. They're not sure how this artwork, which dates back to between 1615 and 1618, when Gentileschi was in Florence, Italy, ended up in its present state. But they think, according to art historians, it probably happened during violent upheavals in Berlin in the aftermath of World War II. The painting then lay rolled up in a cellar before its quality was recognized and it was restored. But despite the void, and I'll go back to the picture where you can see the damage done. There it is. Despite the void, they say, the painting retains the technical quality and the psychological depth of the authorship. It is different, slightly different from a 1620 portrait at the Pitti Palace in Florence. Both works show Mary seated in a chair while clasping her hand to her breast. In the other painting, there's a mirror and a jar of ointment used to anoint Jesus's body that also appears in the scene. It's also attributed to Gentileschi. So they said this faceless portrait, where the damage has her face torn off, features a more dynamic, painterly rendering of the drapery in Mary's yellow skirt and the sleeves of her white blouse, and subtle variations in the positioning of her left hand, the ointment jar, and the chair in which the saint sits. So even with the damage, they said also the Pitti portrait shows a skull. You can kind of see it there on the right, peeking out from behind the mirror, which is a common motif in the likeness of Mary, in which sometimes two objects are used as an allusion to the transience of life. There is no skull in the version currently up for auction. But they say it offers a glimpse into the artist's working method, demonstrating the differences in depiction of the same subject weren't necessarily dictated solely by commercial considerations and may reflect various artistic influences of the time. So the auction house put out a statement calling this the embodiment of survival against the odds, a story reminiscent of the life story of the artist herself. I don't know if it would go for that much, but perhaps, despite the damage, their estimate of $180,000 is accurate. Very interesting. Are we ready for caves? Should we go? Let's go. Check out the caves of the world. This is Hide in Your Cave Monday. Here it is. I've got some creepy caves to show you, and today we'll take a look at caves around the UK. I think I have one in China, perhaps one in Ireland. We'll start with this one. Oops, here it is. It is the Woking Hole Caves in Somerset, England. I love when they light up the caves in color. It's in the heart of the English countryside. Woking Hole is a cave system with more than 50,000 years of history. According to a legend, a witch once lived in these caves, casting spells and spreading fear. The witch was eventually turned to stone by a monk and her petrified figure remains a focal point of the cave. Visitors to the Wookiee Hole say they often hear eerie whispers and see shadowy figures. The next one we'll go visit is called Dunmore Cave, and it's in Kilkenny, Ireland. And here it is. Here's the Dunmore Cave. It looks kind of like a long descent. It's known for its rich archaeological significance, also steeped in what they call dark history. In the 10th century, Vikings are said to have massacred numerous people in this cave. And to this day, visitors report hearing screams and seeing ghostly apparitions of those who died. That's creepy. That's enough to not make me want to walk down that staircase. No thanks. Does look rather like you're walking down the hole to hell. That's the Dunmore Cave in Kilkenny, Ireland. The next one's the Chislehurst Caves. We're back to Kent, England in this case. Kind of a really cool looking cave system here. Chislehurst Caves, a 22-mile long network of man-made tunnels. They've served as everything from chalk mines even to shelters during World War II. With this varied history, it's no surprise these subterranean passageways are full of ghostly tales. Visitors report encountering the spirits of Roman soldiers, Victorian children, and wartime evacuees in the Chislehurst Caves. 22 miles long. That's a lot of caves to explore. I don't know if I like the name of this next cave system, but here you have it, the Hellfire Caves in West Wycombe, England, named after the notorious Hellfire Club, a secret society known for its questionable activities in the 18th century. They say the Hellfire Caves were used for their infamous meetings, and many believe the spirits of the club's members still linger, creating a chilling atmosphere. That's the Hellfire Caves in West Wycombe, England. The next one is in Mexico. It's called the Lolton Cave in Yucatan, Mexico. Kind of a really cool looking cave, though. Holds deep significance for the ancient Maya. The cave paintings and artifacts suggest it was used for rituals and sacrifices, and modern visitors say they often feel an eerie presence. Some report seeing figures in ancient garb wandering in the dark corridors. Well, I think that's your imagination, but still, yikes. Can you imagine all the things that happened in that cave? What went down in the Lolton Cave? For the next one, we head to China. Here it is. I have a really cool hillside. This is the Fendu Ghost City in Chongqing, China. Technically not a cave. It's a necropolis built into the slopes of Ming Mountain, and it's believed to be the gateway to the underworld in Chinese mythology. Visitors can explore eerie passages and statues depicting the afterlife, and they say when you're here, there's this really overwhelming and strange sense of dread and unease. Nope. No, thank you. I'm happy going through life without a sense of dread and unease. Yeah, no thanks. So while all of these caves are super cool, you have a favorite? Is it Wookiee Hole? Is it Dunmore Cave? Is it Chislehurst? Hellfire? Lolton? Fendu Ghost City? Go on to the chat. What do you think? I'll pass. Me? Imagination? No, never. I ain't afraid of no ghosts. No. Nope. No, Ophidian ain't afraid of no ghost either. What do you think? You like the Wookiee cave? The Wookiee one. What the Sizzle and Tammy are all Wookieed up. All right. They like the Wookiee hole. Okay. Thank you, Susan, for letting us know that you're checking out. And thank you for the reminder of hitting the like button. Much appreciated there. Susan, a better YouTuber than I. Please hit like on your way out. Chewbacca. The first one, the Wookiee one. Okay, we'll go back to it. I do like the way they light it up. And it's cool with the boat there too, right? As if you happened upon a mysterious entry into a cave with a neat little beach and you got out to explore the cave. Agent Kitty Feet says, I don't believe in ghosts at all. I'd explore all of those so long as I can get a no spider guarantee. Can I tell you I did something really embarrassing over the weekend? So my knees have been really sore. I injured one smacking it into the dishwasher, and then I've been favoring the other one, and then I injured that one because I was favoring it. And I got into the shower late Friday night. Sometimes if I take a little spritzel shower before bed, it kind of helps me fall asleep. So I get into the shower and I come face to face with a big spider. It's a blonde spider, but it's like crawling across a shampoo bottle. And I had an immediate panic, and my first move is to get as far away from it as I can, right? So I quickly turn, and in doing so, I felt something pop on my right knee and the searing pain. And all day yesterday, I just laid with my knee up. Today, it feels a lot better, but I'm telling you. So when you mentioned spider, I think I was injured by a spider. Well, I injured myself trying to get away from a spider, but yeah. With the Sizzle, I don't believe in ghosts, but it sure is annoying when they show up. Maud says, I believe they're my helpers. Yeah. I don't know what I believe as far as ghosts. I think if I had to believe in them, I would like to think they were helpers. I'll go with that. I don't know. I hate it when that happens. I would like to thank everyone who has contributed to this show. You guys are super amazing for always stepping up, and the ways in which you keep this show going are incredible. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I want to thank the most recent contributors to the After Party Live, and that would include Wes today, kicking in, a recurring PayPal payment from Amy, one from Yvonne, one from John R., one from Murphy, who, I don't know if you saw her post on the Mark Thompson Show fan discussion page. She has some really interesting information that I'm looking into about this whole, I know we don't mention politics on the show, but this whole Melania speech that was given and her connection to Epstein. So I'm looking into that. But thank you, Murphy, for posting that and for tagging my name on it. I appreciate that, and for the contribution to the show. So big thank you to everyone for keeping the After Party Live rolling right along. In Switzerland, what the Sizzle says, spiders are considered good luck, especially the black ones. I'm with Heather on that. Keep them away from me. Glad you enjoyed the caves. I know this show's a little short today. I hope that you guys have, I thought I had enough stories piled in, but apparently I didn't. Please email me if you have any ideas or would like to come on to the after party. Kim@theafterparty.live is the email address tomorrow. Fingers crossed that I'll have Glenn from Australia coming to share information about this amazing island that he and his family go to. And I can't wait to see it from his perspective in the pictures that he's going to bring along and show us of this very cool island in Australia. So I'm looking forward to that. Also, David K. Johnston tomorrow on the Mark Thompson Show, and Mark returns. So all of these things have me looking forward to Tuesday. All right, everybody. Until we meet again, make it the very best rest of your Monday, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
The After Party Live would like to thank the following contributors and viewers like you.
If you have a strongly worded message, I'd like them to get that message from you at my house as well. Yes, and I got referred to an orthopedic surgeon, and that appointment is in May, so I have some time to wait. Thanks. Agree. It depends on your definition of classic. I almost watched Tim's favorite Jesus movie over the weekend. Couldn't quite bring myself to do it. I don't know. I think about that. I'm not sure. How about you? That's disconcerting. Oh, is that the plan? Okay, that's okay. I did not watch The Heiress. Did you see The Heiress? That's your reminder to add another 5 minutes of exercise on.